Well, it's been a while since I've done a reaction video like this, and it's not because I'm stuck at home with coronavirus. I have a job in public health, so I still gotta go in, but still, again, since I work in public health, ugh, feels, man, feels for anyone who has to deal with this shit storm who's been impacted by it. But as for why finally doing another reaction video, Death Bouts, because I like Fairy Tail a lot. It's pretty much the only shonen anime I'm really into. Never really got into Dragon Ball Z. I never really watched the anime. I read some of the comics, especially the arc that was in Shonen Jump, the Android Trunks one. I've played some of the games, especially Legacy of Goku 2 on the Game Boy Advance, which deals with that arc. So I am somewhat familiar with the characters. Great respect for Akira Toriyama, but never really got that into it. And then there's stuff like One Piece and Naruto. I tried reading those manga too, and no. I hate the main characters. They're dumbasses. They piss me off. I could never get into them. They never drew me in. But Fairy Tail, I don't know why, but it just did. I mean, I like the characters. The action was fun. Some people say it's just a stupid shonen anime. It's the bargain bin version. But fuck you. I mean, it's just fun. So, but this other one that Gray Fullbuster's going up against, Akame ga Kill, I don't know anything about that. I'm not that big an anime dork, but I'm just glad the Fairy Tail person's not going up against some asshole from One Piece. I like how Natsu smoked his enemy, but oh, I almost burst into tears when Urza got skewered and just sliced and diced by what's his name, Rorno Zolo, whatever. But yeah, enough yammering. Let's do this. In 3, 2, 1, go. Lower this a little.
The element of ice is cold and unforgiving.
Literally!
Only in an equally frigid and unmerciful land can one understand
Why
its
couldn't have been
true
against
potential.
X-Men's
Let's trade
Iceman or
Fullbuster,
Elsa,
Iceman
someone I
of the
know
Fairy Tail
about.
Guild.
And Esdeath, the Imperial General from Akame ga Kill.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
I like a
And
hot
it's
chick
our
in
job to
uniform,
analyze their
but
weapons, armor, and skills to
I don't
find
know.
out
Who
would
is
win
this?
A death battle.
guess I'm about to find out. Hope there's no spoilers for Fairy Tail.
In
I'm
a
only up
land
to episode
far,
260.
far away lies the kingdom of Fiori, a place filled with magic.
But not everyone was living their best life in Magic Town.
Gray Fullbuster was a child of the north, living among the frigid cold.
Until an edgy-looking demon showed up and wiped out the whole place. Gray survived, though everyone else wasn't so lucky. But hey, at least he got adopted by a hot stripper.
This was Ur, and she just so happened to be one of the greatest ice mages in the world.
So Gray got to training. Who else is gonna take out that creepy demon for revenge and justice, right? And he needed to master ice magic to do it.
Gray worked tirelessly and eventually became a master of ice make molding magic, essentially crafting weapons, tools, and other inanimate objects out of ice.
Swords, shields,
Basically like
hammers,
Green Lantern,
grappling
but with
hooks,
ice.
Stairs, clones of himself, anything he wants really. He can even whip out a friggin' ice bazooka. He also took after new mom and became a regular Chippendale himself. Yeah, he really never stopped doing that.
But with powerful magic at his beck and call, Gray became reckless,
Not even when he was in
desperate to
Lucy's
prove himself
body.
and destroy the demon. Sadly, this carelessness would change his life for the worse one more time.
He tried to take the demon out himself, but things didn't go so great, even with his shiny new powers. Whoa! Gray learned how to do all this cool ice magic by stripping?
Well,
Ice magic here!
Oh no!
Oil me up, Wiz!
no. Removing clothes was just part of Ur's training. See, she instructed Gray to do so in order to adapt to the cold to better resist it, letting him have a much greater range when it comes to his own ice magic.
Why didn't you say that 5 seconds earlier, when I still had my favorite shirt?
Anyway, Gray was outmatched.
And we didn't
by
have to
Demon,
look at
and
that-
Ur was
that
forced to step
thing.
in her ultimate spell, Iced Shell.
It's a super handy move that can freeze a giant demon like that for good! Haha!
At the cost of the caster's life.
Ah, there it is. Big oof. If that's not bad enough, Gray learned an ultimate version called Lost Iced Shell. This one also kills you, but as a bonus, it also erases the memories of you from everyone who ever knew you.
Sure, the Lost Ice Shell is hundreds of times more powerful and basically a guaranteed win move if he has enough time to cast it, but how does that even work? Say Gray cut off your arm, leaving you handicapped for years, then Lost Ice Shelled himself elsewhere. That would be a very confusing day.
Is that how I lost my leg? Wonder who it was I knew. Well, speaking of loss, Gray Filibuster had lost 2 families at this point.
But once again, he found new footing and new friends, this time with the mages of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Including a clingy blue-haired water lady, Juvia. It's
Yeah,
okay,
she's
you can ship 'em. Everybody
freaky.
does, including them.
Now full from a serious helping of humble pie, Gray changed his tune. No longer would he be a reckless avenger, but a cautious, laid-back defender of his new friends. Which works out since this is the sort of world where fighting for your friends actually increases your magical power. True story.
You could say he started keeping a cool head, huh? Yep, no more demon hunting for him. Well, until he got his hands on demon killing magic, of course.
After becoming an Ice Devil Slayer, Gray learned how to devour ice to replenish his power, become extremely resistant to ice attacks, mess around with other people's ice magic, and conjure spells designed to kill demons.
Which would have been really, really handy just a little bit ago. Oh well, with all this magic, ice mages can wipe out an entire town all at once, or stir up an ice storm that covered the country of Fiori.
By
Yeah,
comparing
I'm at the
Invil's
part
ice
where he got
storms
like
to
the
scale
Devil
of
Slayer ice
Fiori
magic
based
from
on
his
official maps,
father or
it appears
whatever.
The force and energy of the storm
it's
would
kinda
be
gaps
equivalent
when
to
I
more than
finally pick up and
27
watch more.
gigatons of TNT.
Now that's a
Damn.
big-ass storm. And it makes sense, as Gray can fight on par with fellow guildies Natsu and Urza. Natsu has dodged lightning, and Urza blew up this giant meteor all by herself.
Measuring the distance between the meteor and land in this shot, then comparing its size to Urza in this one, we found that Urza must have been moving over 20,000 times the speed of sound to intercept it, striking it with a force of over 50 teratons of TNT.
And Gray should definitely be in the same ballpark at least, especially since Urza wasn't even at her full strength.
Truly, as long as Gray keeps his pants on, literally, he is a fierce warrior who will always fight for his friends.
I've got a will all of my own. And it says my friends and I are gonna walk the path of life.
As a child, Esdeath lived among her clan in the northern frontier, hunting giant monsters called danger beasts with her father.
Awesome! Now that's how you raise a kid! Look at the size of that thing! Where can I get a hunting license for those?
However, Esdeath's destiny would lie further south, among a 1,000-year-old empire.
Because what do you know? Her whole clan got wiped out, leaving her as the lone survivor. Now, normally this would lead to a dramatic revenge story and a lesson on friendship and appreciating what you have and stuff. But, that's not what happened.
Right, Esdeath ascribed
Okay, so
herself
she's
to
a
a
bad
sort
guy.
of survival of the fittest philosophy. To her, if her father lay dead before her, that didn't mean she should be sad or angry. That meant her father was weak.
You're damn right! Finally, somebody knows what I'm talking about! That's my power of friendship!
Shut
this
up,
girl's got it
Broomstick.
all figured out!
Well, now on her own, and maybe a bit insane, Esdeath joined the militant ranks of the widespread empire, where her violent nature found a new calling.
Yeah, like when she buried 400,000 people alive! Mama Boomstick always told me you should enjoy your work, so good for her, I guess. She even got a promotion and an offer of a new weapon that would change everything. A Tegu.
Esdeath was already extremely proficient with a sword, but this was something entirely different. A Tegu is a supernatural relic forged from the remnants of special danger beasts. They can take the form of anything from a battle axe to a flute to a giant pair of scissors. However,
Don't
Esdeath
run with
chose one
those.
so unique, most were absolutely terrified of it. It was blood, the demon's extract.
And because she's a totally sane and normal person, she drank it. All of it. Okay.
After surviving the side effects, the usual headaches, nausea, maddening voices in her head telling her to kill everyone, Esdeath earned her reward.
Ice magic, bitches! She can make and shape ice out of thin air. Weapons, shields, platforms, horses, frickin' meteors. You name it, she can make it. Plus, she can fly by holding herself in the air with ice, and once built an entire army of ice horse people. Look at them all! There's thousands of them!
Well, it did take her a few days to make them all, implying she has a limit to her ability. Regardless, her enormous power is clear. She can even create a giant suit of armor around herself like some sort of icy mech.
So she's a
Okay, now I'm
super
starting to
ice
see
lady,
why they didn't
but
use
she knows
Elsa or
something to
Iceman or what
herself.
have you.
Even with all
okay.
the power she held, not even sadistic conquest or unstoppable ice magic could fill the void in her heart. Esdeath sought one thing above all else: love.
The Ice Queen needs some lovin'. I know just the man for the job.
So does she, apparently. She made a list of the specific qualities in her ideal man, who turned out to be this guy, Tatsumi.
What? Really? Oh, some dopey generic anime protagonist kid.
Well, he literally is an anime protagonist.
Oh, come on, he's like a 3 out of 10 and she's not even on the chart. She's way too good for him.
Is she?
Oh, right, she's crazy. Even better!
Deranged sadism aside, there is one skill of hers
Well, I
that
can't
impresses
entirely
above
fault
all
Boomstick
else.
for that one.
Mahatma.
Gesundheit. It's a time stop she can only use once per day. It freezes time, but, like, literally freezes it with cold.
This makes no sense.
Anyway,
It's anime, it's not
Esdeath got
supposed to.
work leading her new hunting group called the Jaegers, and doing as many awesome things as she could to impress that Tatsumi brat. Once she froze an entire river with 0 effort. Imagine how many slushies you could make with that.
That isn't even a fraction of her true potential. After absorbing those tens of thousands of ice cavalry, Esdeath harnessed enough power to create an icy storm that spanned an entire continent. Comparing its size relative to the planet's diameter, producing a storm of this scale would require a kinetic energy over 280 petatons of TNT.
Super impressive. But remember, it took her, quote, a few days to make that many ice people.
Essentially stockpiling a lot more power than she would normally be capable of on any individual day.
But Esdeath has tangled with the toughest rebels out there. A Kami who can dodge lightning, and dumb old Tatsumi who was strong enough to outmuscle this absolute unit of a Tega called, Chico Taser. What's up with all these made-up German words?
Shikoteza, or the Primus Imperator, was powerful enough to create a massive crater outside the Imperial capital. To make a crater of this size, the blast must have equaled over 900 teratons of TNT.
And Esdeath is even more hardcore. Get this, one time her arm was
The math
poisoned,
isn't looking
but
good for
before she let
Gray.
the poison spread to her body, she karate chopped her whole freaking arm off and replaced it with an ice sword. Yes!
Sadly, or luckily, depending on where you stand, all the power in the world wasn't enough for Esdeath to win Tatsumi's love.
And she didn't even get to conquer the world either, because the main title character had to ruin everything.
But in the end, she didn't lament her failure to conquer, or see herself as weak. Rather, she simply regretted not being able to look at Tatsumi one more time. Perhaps her cold philosophy was growing a bit warmer. Or maybe she was just an insane psychopath.
I will always be on top. I will always be victorious, no matter what gets in my way.
Alright, Gray, you know what you
the
gotta
combatants
do,
are
waste
set,
this
and we've run the data
bitch.
through all possibilities.
But first, all this talking has made me hungry for Blue Apron.
With more options than ever before, Blue Apron makes it easy to eat well. Choose from a
They're
variety
still
of
doing
chef-designed
these
ready-to-cook
ads.
meals with perfectly proportioned ingredients and flavorful options.
Can confirm, there's some really delicious food to choose from when you get a box of Blue Apron, and it comes straight to your front door.
Prices start as low as $7.49 per serving. Plus, if you have a busy schedule like myself, Blue Apron is absolutely flexible. So you can skip entire weeks at a time if you need to. That's certainly come in handy for me when I've gone out of town.
There's something for everyone in the Blue Apron menu. And it's a great way to show someone that, yes, you can cook, even if you never have before.
Cooking doesn't have to be a hassle.
Yeah, with all
Blue
this
Apron
staying
gives you
inside, a lot of
options
us
and
have
makes
to
it easy,
do.
taking the
Maybe
guesswork out of
it's
dinner
time I
so
learned
you
to
can
cook.
enjoy a home-cooked meal.
I'm not using this
Check
shit.
out this week's menu and get $60 off when you visit blueapron.com/battle.
That's blueapron.com/battle.
Blue Apron, feed your soul.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Is it 3D or... No, it's probably 2D sprites. Yep.
Such a paltry country is hardly worth conquering.
Hey! Take your troops and get out! Oh, just what I needed. Another crazy, blue-haired woman in my life.
You tell. Oh, I like the music.
have no right to feel my boot against your face. Now, die for me!
Ice make Crescent Flame! Take this!
It's hammer time! Or maybe not.
Ice Cannon!
Oh yeah! Fuck her up! Fuck her up! That might not have been enough.
Ice storm!
Okay.
Thanks for the meal. Ice Fate Impact! Ice Devil Zero Longsword!
Alright, come on, Gray. There. Put her down! Well, we know that. Oh, no, no, no. A fucking ad. Okay, we're back.
She's too much! I have no choice. But
Everything in sight will be encased in ice. Freeze.
Oh, damn. It was looking so good, too.
Congratulations and goodbye.
Shit. Great. Fairy Tales 1 and 2 now.
KO! This just in, male stripper found dead after a crazy night with a dominatrix gone wrong. More at
Shut up,
7.
Boomstick.
Well, let's get to this. This was certainly an interesting matchup, and both Cryomancers held their own advantages.
Oh yeah, Gray's awesome ice make powers meant he had a ton of versatility at his frosty fingertips. Like how he could eat ice to replenish his magic. She sure didn't see that one coming.
Though, being the tactician she is, Esdeath likely wouldn't fall for any of Gray's tricks more than once. Also, both were in the same range of speed by scaling to feats of dodging lightning.
Yeah, but the Queen of Cold Kink definitely had more ice power up her sleeves. Just look at those storms. The one Gray scales to covered a country, while Esdeath's covered
Yeah,
a
I knew
whole
the math wasn't
continent.
looking good for Gray.
But we still had to deduce the exact nature and potential of her storm. Remember, Esdeath specifically claimed it took her a few days to make the ice cavalry she used as fuel for the storm. A few generally means 3 at minimum. So we can cut the yield of our previous calculation to 1/3. Lowballing this a bit, let's assume she used all of her power each day to make 1/3 of the total cavalry. This would mean Esdeath could wield about 93 petatons worth of energy on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's way more than Invel's Ice Storm, and 1,600 times deadlier than that meteor Urza obliterated. Esdeath definitely had the advantage in sheer magic power. Even with his better resistances, there's no way Gray could survive that much magic force. So he really only had one shot, the Lost Ice Shell.
Which certainly could have ended things right then and there, if not for Esdeath's time stop ability. Both the Ice Shell and Mahoptima could only be used once, but Mahoptima was more useful given its immediate effect compared to the Ice Shell's long casting time, and its versatility in that Esdeath could follow it up with whatever she wanted.
Also, it doesn't kill her, so that's a plus.
Sure.
Technically, Gray's Ice Devil Slayer magic means he could probably resist the Mahoptopotamus a bit. But that brat Tatsumi had crazy good cold resistance too, and it didn't do him much good against the time freeze.
Gray's speed and versatility meant he could hold his own, but Esdeath's awesome power, uniquely suited time freezing, and domineering perseverance saw her through this battle.
Looks like Esdeath stopped Gray cold.
The winner is Esdeath.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Death
Oh
Battle.
well, at least I'll always have Natsu's win.
And if you want to watch more stuff, check the boxes right over there.
Okay, what do we got next? Goro versus a Pokemon, cause why not? Okay, I'll watch that one, even though I don't really care for Mortal Kombat.